Have you ever wondered why it is that a person would choose to be abusive to another person? Domestic violence is a topic that was once very, very taboo, where no one wanted to talk about it, very isolated, and such like. But in recent years, um, especially with the emergence of social media and all the social media platforms that exist, it is becoming a lot more widely exposed. And so every time you open the newspaper, you might see some sort of domestic violence incident being reported. Um, you open the newspaper, you will see, you listen to the news, you'll see it. And one that is left to wonder a lot of time, why do people abuse other people like that? Why do a lot of men abuse women that they're supposed to love and supposed to care for? And yes, we're acknowledging the fact that in domestic violence or abusive cases, it's not just men that abuse. A lot of times there are women who are also very abusive, likewise. But why do they do this? There are several different reasons why. And we know that there's a lot of different types of domestic abuse that leads to domestic violence. We're talking about physical abuse, mental and emotional abuse, economic abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse. There are a host of different, the list goes on. But let's focus a little bit, if you will, on the verbal as well as the physical aspect of domestic abuse. Number one reason why I believe there are a lot of men carry out these acts of abuse on women, it is because for many of them it's the behavior that was taught to them. Subconsciously they were exposed to it, perhaps maybe in their home, in their community, in the village. They saw these sort of behavior emerging from other men, and so they grew up with this whole belief that this is how it is supposed to be, where you control. And that's another aspect that we need to focus on. That's another reason why a lot of men abuse, is because they have this need for control. They have this need to be in control. Then for many of them also, it could have been that they themselves were abused, perhaps maybe as a child. And so they end up growing and becoming adult, and they carry out the same thing on their family and on their partner. Very importantly also, um, are some of the things that people get exposed to when when they're very young. And this does not necessarily mean in the home or in the community, but perhaps maybe through movies, through videos, and such like. They see these things, and for lack of a better term, they copy these sort of behavior themselves. And so those are some of the things that I believe contributes to them having this need. Mental disorders, however, should not be ruled out as a reason why a lot of men abuse, and very notably so. Um, Let us talk about very quickly people who are sociopathic or psychopathic, very sadistic. They have this need to abuse, because the abuse and the pain that they inflict on their victim gives them a sense of pleasure and makes they themselves feel good about it. When they see the agony that a person is going through, it gives them a hype or a boost to make themselves feel good and in control and in charge. It's very difficult sometimes to understand, but that is just what it is. Substance abuse. persons who abuse substances, and let's talk perhaps maybe a little bit about alcohol. Alcohol abuse is one of the things that a lot of men, um, that contributes, I should say, to a lot of men becoming abusive to their partners and to their family when when they consume these substances to the point where they are no longer in control of themselves. They become very, very abusive. So in addition to that, importantly also, a lot of men and people who are abusive to others, they do not have a sense of boundary a lot of time. They don't understand. They see their partner a lot of time, not as a partner, not as a support to them. They see them as property, and because they see them as property, they believe that they can do whatever it is that they feel they can do to this other person, even if it means hurting them, even if it means inflicting pain to this person. They lack empathy. A lot of time they don't feel a sense of remorse. There is no empathy. They are very unconcerned about how you feel. And again, all of this can stem from how they were brought up themselves.